Hey everyone, you're watching Phantom Nixon, and today's gonna be epic. And now you're probably asking the logical question, then why make this video? Are you really going to milk this topic until the cow runs dry? And my answer is, Mimic, not including him in this video, will be a huge mistake. Even though I still believe that the most logical and satisfying ending is in FNaF 6, Mimic absolutely deserves a place in the story. The concept behind him is so intriguing that I regret not including him earlier. Moreover, his story starts way earlier and fits perfectly into the overall timeline. So basically, this is a more dynamic version of the FNaF timeline, without my speculations or open questions, but with added corrections. This isn't the truth, it's just a theory, arranged in chronological order. The story begins in the early 1970s, in the town of Hurricane, Utah, when two engineers open a restaurant called Fredbear's Family Diner. The place quickly gains popularity thanks to animatronics performing on stage, and soon, similar franchises start appearing in other cities. The founders, Henry Emily and William Afton, form Fazbear Entertainment with the goal of expanding the business. But problems begin to surface. The animatronic Spring Bunny and Fredbear were equipped with spring lock mechanisms, which allowed them to double as wearable suits. But this turned out to be extremely dangerous. The springs could snap shut unexpectedly, severely injuring anyone inside. Fazbear Entertainment gradually begins phasing out the spring lock suits and works on developing a safer, entirely new line of animatronics. Meanwhile, a young engineer named Edwin Murray patents a robotic vacuum cleaner and makes a good amount of money. He buys an old mansion, planning to restore it with his wife Fiona, but she dies during childbirth, giving birth to their son David. Edwin's business collapses, and he moves with David to live in an old factory. Now raising his son alone, Edwin works remotely for Fazbear. Due to lack of time, he comes up with the idea of creating a robot that would help take care of David, and so the concept of Mimic is born. In just 21 days, Edwin writes a program called Mimicol, an artificial intelligence designed to learn by mimicking human movement. He builds the robot from spare factory parts. The result is a legless endoskeleton that copies David's actions. David likes it and asks its name. His father replies, Mimic, as in imitator. Mimic quickly learns how to play hide and seek, draw, clean, and more. He helps both David and Edwin. Everything seems fine, until one day, Mimic begins to make his own decisions. This frightens Edwin. He realizes that Mimic is learning not only good behavior, but bad behavior as well. Then one day, David runs into the street and dies. Edwin is devastated. A few days later, Edwin sees Mimic imitating David's behavior. Enraged, Edwin grabs a metal pipe and violently beats Mimic until he collapses. He shuts him down and abandons the factory. Mimic remembers everything. Fazbear Entertainment hears nothing from Edwin for months. That's a breach of contract, and his property is now theirs. So, they send 3 workers to check the factory. They find a strange legless endoskeleton and decide to restore it. It's Mimic. He wakes up and brutally kills all 3 of them. The company sends another group. They find a corpse stuffed in a fridge and another hanging like a coat. They realize it's time to run, but it's already too late. Mimic slaughters them too. Eventually, Fazbear manages to shut Mimic down and extract his code. Mimic-1. They don't realize what they've unleashed. Meanwhile, they're preparing to open a new pizzeria, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Replacing the old mascots comes a fresh new lineup: Foxy, Chica, Bonnie, and of course, Freddy. There's merch, a TV cartoon, and toys. Meanwhile, Henry and William's relationship sours. Henry builds a marionette animatronic for his daughter, Charlotte. Its job is to protect children. Things are worse for William. His older son Michael bullies his younger brother, who's terrified of animatronics. On his birthday, they shove the kid's head into Fredbear's jaws. The spring locks fail, and his skull is crushed. The child dies in the hospital. William snaps. One day, he sees Charlotte outside the diner. He kills her and dumps her body in an alley. The marionette finds her, and her spirit possesses it. After that, Fredbear's closes down. A new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opens, with new mascots. But the spring lock suits are still used, and accidents still happen. So each pizzeria builds a secret back room. If a staff member gets injured, they hide there to avoid scaring the customers. Henry doesn't yet know that William murdered his daughter. Meanwhile, William begins researching Remnant, a substance made from souls and emotions, capable of granting immortality. He creates a company called Afton Robotics and builds an underground lab. His test subjects are children. He locks them in observation chambers and uses a hallucinogenic gas. Later, he designs AI-powered animatronics that lure and capture kids. In 1985, William opens a new pizzeria, Circus Baby's Pizza World. He brings his daughter Elizabeth there, but forbids her from approaching the animatronics. She disobeys. Circus Baby lures her with ice cream and kills her. Her soul possesses the animatronic. The restaurant operates for just one day and is shut down under the pretense of a gas leak. The animatronics are moved to an underground facility and rented out under the name Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rentals. Meanwhile, William returns to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Wearing a yellow bunny suit, he lures in 5 children and kills them. He hides their bodies inside the animatronics. This creates the first haunted ones: Chica, Bonnie, Freddy, Foxy, and Golden. Freddy. Police investigate, but find no evidence. Some witnesses say they saw William in a suit, but there's not enough proof. He is released. He leaves town but tells his son Michael to descend into the underground facility and find Elizabeth. Michael gets a job as a nighttime technician and begins maintaining the funtime animatronics. Baby possessed by Elizabeth gains his trust. She tells him how she died and asks for his help to escape. Eventually, she lures him into the scooper, a machine that extracts remnant. The scooper kills Michael, and his body is used as a suit for Inard, a merged form of all the funtime animatronics. Inard escapes into the outside world wearing Michael's body, but it begins to rot, forcing Inard to abandon it. Michael dies, but is resurrected thanks to the remnant. Now, his mission is to find his father and end this madness. Fazbear Entertainment is struggling. The murders have ruined its reputation. The pizzeria shuts down again, but in 1987, they attempt a relaunch with a new restaurant featuring toy animatronics designed to be more kid-friendly. These robots can scan faces using a police database. The old animatronics are still in the building and still haunted. William gets a job on the day shift, reprograms the mascots, and vanishes after murdering 5 more children. Night guard Jeremy is bitten by one of the animatronics. This event becomes known as the Bite of 87. The restaurant is shut down once again. Michael, using the alias Fred Smith, gets a job at the restaurant. He works one night and is fired for odor and tampering with animatronics. A year later, Fazbear opens yet another location, this time using the old animatronics, slightly refurbished. But they're still haunted. The restaurant limps along until 1993. In 1993, Michael returns as the night guard, this time using his real name. He works 7 nights, keeping a logbook that documents his nightmares, his sister, and his father. Then, he's fired once again. William returns to the pizzeria and lures the animatronics into a hidden room. He dismantles them to harvest remnant, but suddenly, the ghosts of the murdered children appear. Panicking, he puts on the Spring Bunny suit, and the lock snaps shut. He dies inside. Thus, Springtrap is born, a rotting corpse trapped inside a rabbit suit. 22 years pass. Inard leaves Michael's body, and the funtime animatronics split into Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy. Henry builds a fake pizzeria, a trap designed to lure all the animatronics and burn them. Michael gets a job there as the manager. He gathers Junk's old animatronics, like Scrap Trap, Molten Freddy, Lefty, and Scrap Baby. They all gather in the underground. Henry triggers the fire. They all burn. William, and now Springtrap, is trapped in a personal hell. A spirit named Cassidy, Golden Freddy, torments him endlessly. Meanwhile, Fazbear Entertainment begins constructing a massive entertainment complex, the Mega Pizzaplex. The Pizzaplex is built directly over Henry's old location. Workers are sent into the basement to clear the rubble. Alongside them comes a truck carrying a new animatronic. It's Mimic. He wakes up and starts killing again. One surviving worker begs the others to seal the entrance in concrete, trapping Mimic inside. Later, 18 sneak into the ruins. They discover Mimic and are all killed, one by one. Fazbear decides to make a video game to mock the myths. They lure an indie dev and trap him in a house with illusion discs. During development, the game is infected with code from Mimic-1. Thus, Glitch Trap is born, the viral form of Mimic in the game. The playtester goes insane, slices his own face, and becomes obsessed with the bunny mask. Later, a woman named Vanessa finds all the infected files. Glitch Trap takes over her mind. She becomes his host. Fazbear launches the Mega Pizzaplex, but profits are disappointing. So leadership decides to replace human staff with an AI called the Storyteller, based on Mimic's code. Edwin Murray, Mimic's creator, tries to stop them, but is locked inside the Baobab server and burned along with the executive. Later, Vanessa is still possessed, helps Mimic infiltrate the building again. He spreads through the arcade machines and gains control over the Pizzaplex. Meanwhile, a boy named Gregory appears, hacking systems and battling Animatronics. With Glamrock Freddy. Gregory makes it to the basement, where he finds Mimic and the Blob, a creature made of corpses and remnant. They defeat Mimic, free Vanessa, and escape. Mimic ends up trapped deep inside the facility. He sends a fake message pretending to be Gregory to a girl named Cassie. She descends and unknowingly sets him free, but Gregory cuts the elevator cables. They fall together into the dark, and that's where the story ends. Cassie's fate and Mimic's remain unknown, but one thing's certain: Mimic will be back.